So today we just want to talk about Google Analytics and take a deeper dive into the menus. But I wanted to sort of start off with a former life of mine.
Yeah, I didn't touch that
Which is
at all.
Really all about the customer journey in a retail context, because that's what I used to do. So we used to talk about, well, how do the customers come in, what do they do, what do they buy, in what order, what do they buy it with, and then we'd sit out at the end of the week and look at this spreadsheet and say, well, what the sell-through in these t-shirts versus the sell-through in these jeans. If they were high, then why don't we put them together to increase the sell-through of both? And it was an enormously complex mathematical exercise that resulted in a very small difference in the margin. But it was still, at that point, these were the control points that we had as retailers to look at customer traffic through the environment, and we could lay out the store in a way that we thought was profitable and interesting to look at, and guide customers through the store that way. It's kind of like retailers now. They'll put the milk in the back row because they know that they want you to have a maximum journey. Or IKEA is also equally infamous for their customer journey, and it's long.
Can make you go through the whole damn store.
Right. So moving forward, this is what we are looking at now, more on the online version of it, and these are the kind of properties as marketers that we can create and develop and enhance to guide the customer through whatever journey that we want. And so these are the control points. We obviously, this is a generic one. There are a lot more specifically for your customers, or there could be a lot less. But basically, clients do 8 or 9 interactions online before they consider making a purchase.
8 or 9.
So they might visit one or all of these properties just to either validate your product, get some feedback from customers, or anything else that will help them make up their mind. So it's, but if you look at the 3.0 version of that, it's really about, well, what can you control as your website, your internet, social media is the tools that we build around that you earn. And I say earn because you don't own them, you sort of rent them. So the quality of your rent depends on how much content you put there. But the idea is to push people to your website, and then the peripheral ring on there is what you can do on paid social to get people along there as well. But really the client journey these days is about getting customers to know, like, trust, and then become advocates of some sort. So it's about using all of these control points to get customers into that, what do they call it? It's a funnel, sales funnel.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of different versions of this, but essentially this is the 3 steps that we use to try and get customer conversion. But if you look at it more complex, it's really about not so much the buying cycle, but it includes ownership and recycling and reusing and things as well. So the customer journey isn't over when things are bought; it continues on. So this is a little more of a sort of a matrix version that talks about the more complete life cycle of it. So one of the reasons we love Google Analytics is it's a tool where you can control or feel like you have some control over the customer journey, because there is so much information that you get from it that's free. It bugs me. Google constantly annoys me in that it's badly represented, because, as Bill keeps saying, there are a bunch of technos that are really driving the whole bus at Google, and I think they're coming around to be more having a better user interface lately, but it's still, Google Analytics is still, I should say the whole Google ecosystem I find tremendously confusing. But so one of the struggles as marketers is sort of trying to push through the clutter and find out what stuff works, what stuff is important to you, and what stuff, where you can see what your customers are up to. That's what we're doing. So Julia's just going to walk us and talk us through a little bit about some of the menu line items in Google Analytics, and then some of her clients like a deep dive in here, so we're going to talk a little bit about what it looks like from her side. So over to you, Julia. Are you in?
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so I know that some people are familiar with the left-hand side over here, but I'm just going to go ahead and roll through it really quickly. Carmen, are you familiar with this? Okay, so I'll mostly roll through it. All right, go quick. All right, so last Tuesday we talked about the dashboards basically and how you can go ahead and grab information and throw it into this dashboard so it's really easy for you to see, you know, what's going on where and how and that sort of thing. But all the information on the dashboards are coming from
I think the important thing you talked about last week is you can make your own dashboard.
Right, and so we're talking about where we're getting all of this information from. So it's really just all stacked up in this area over here. So I'm actually going to scroll this back up so that you can see everything that you have to choose from as far as what kind of information you can grab. So there's intelligence, events, which is another way to kind of figure out how people are getting to what your goals are, what your goal completions look like, what people are looking at as far as real time. So right now it's very early in the morning, so nobody's looking at the beauty salon. So let's see what they might be looking at. Maybe they're looking at.
Julia, this is a really nice question, but
Yeah.
who's making up that dashboard? Is it that something that I can look up and see, or is it something
So
I
the
can make?
dashboard already has like just some basic stuff that
So if I put it
that they
in
put up there,
Google
but you can make your own dashboard as well, and you can decide that some of the items on the dashboard is not important to you.
But what I'm saying is, if
Yep.
I wanted to, do I put my name in on something like that when I find something, or no? I have to make something. I can't
No,
just
so
go
the
in.
dashboard,
The matrix are there already, you're just choosing which
you're
one
just
you want to see
choosing
first.
which ones. But there's already dashboards up there, and then you can add and
Okay.
subtract
But you have
dashboards.
to make it. It's nothing that I just open a page and it's already there.
No, the dashboard is already there magically.
For me, for everybody.
For each website. Once you set up your Google Analytics,
Oh, okay.
yeah, once you set up the Google Analytics, then it's there.
I mean, you can customize it, because some people like to see certain things quicker than other times.
No, I got that part. I just didn't know if it was set initially and then you change it.
Yeah,
or
it's set
if-
initially and then you change it. That's exactly how that works. And you can also add different types. So see how you can have a new dashboard here. So if I wanted to have a dashboard right here that was, just strictly all AdWords information, I can do that and then start bringing in the information that I want to have. So in this case, I want to have all of my Ortho Now ads. And I can just start, moving through all the pieces of information that we want to have. But with this one, let's see if anybody's. So this shows you how many people are actually actively on the site right now and what they may be doing.
It's the Ortho site.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
What's this per second?
Yeah, and we've got people looking to come in today.
Yeah, so this shows you, these are the pages that are currently active right now. So people are looking at the location of the offices, they're looking at specific doctors that they're interested in, that sort of thing. You have your top referrals. And there's no data right now. There's no data for social traffic right now. So people are probably, they might already have an appointment, right? So they've been referred by a doctor, by their primary care physician. And the two questions that they're asking right this very second is, where the heck am I going? Where is this place?
In 5 minutes, I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah, and in 5 minutes I'm supposed to be there. And and who am I going to see, right? So you can see right here, there were 3 doctors up. They jumped off the page, right? So they already got the information about that particular doctor that they're probably, you know, they may be visiting for the first time. So you're getting information about that. And then you can also see where people are coming in from. Right, so now we have people looking from New Haven. We have somebody looking from Boston, which is not that uncommon because now they have very specific type of surgeries that they do. There's one that was just in the news recently, and it's 3D printed knees. So you can have, it's 3D printed joint replacement.
Wow.
So they take, you know, a photo of your knee, blah, blah, blah. So that sort of
they
thing.
can customize that shape of the knee.
Yeah. Right. So one of the things now, because this was on the news, one of the things that we may look at in our acquisition, where traffic is coming from. So this is acquisition, this is all traffic, where people are coming from. So say you know that there's a news story that came out, or you know that you're doing some advertising or that sort of thing. You want to see where that kind of fits in, how that kind of impacted people visiting your website, and then from there, where they actually visited your website. So you can see here that this is some Google advertising right here. And you can see that over this period of time, it brought up in 229 of the visits that have come in. So this is really important because we've been paying for this. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. You're raising your hand.
Sorry.
That's okay.
In the actual categories of referral, did you customize those to the channels, or does it come in search yahoo.com/referral?
So no, so these right here, so this is Yahoo Organic. That is not customized. This is not customized. This is if you're doing Yahoo advertising.
Okay. So
In their search, that's what they give you. So it's the same thing for, there's another one here, searchxfinity.com. That also means that when it's referral and Search Xfinity, that means that they've actually purchased advertising. So they're purchasing advertising from Google,
right.
from Xfinity or Comcast or whatever, that sort of advertising, from Yahoo. There are some Yellow Pages is another one. So this was another one. This was WTNH. We actually had a story on WTNH about one of the docs. So we want to kind of follow along and see like how that PR, that public relations actually impacted as far as people visiting the site and checking us out from that perspective.
So it was on WTNH's site or your own site? You took the video and put
It
on
was,
your own page?
well, so both, actually. So WTNH ran the story. So they run the story both on the television, you know, on TV, and then they take the story, they take the video, and they put it on
So you tracked
their
the video
site.
internet.
Yep, so we tracked it through there, and then we also tracked it through our own site as well. So we took their video, put it on the site, and then threw it out through the social channels as well. So you can see there's a lot of things going on as far as the traffic is concerned, and they definitely don't want to look at all of this information. They don't really need to. They want me to do that. So one of the things.
So what's your insight here then, Julie? You can just give us a.
Yeah, so there's basically. Yeah. So from here, I'm not really ready to offer a ton of insight from this particular report here. I know that we're running some advertising. The advertising is doing pretty well, but I want to see how well that advertising is doing and where they're going. We're going to dive a little deeper in there. So we're going to look at this a little bit deeper.
That's pretty good site. It's 11,000 hits a month on Google Organic.
Uh-huh.
Good.
Yeah.
80% of that's just organic too, right?
Yeah, and you want to see that as well. I'm not going to cry over the fact that we're only getting 229 from Google pay-per-click. We really want our organic to do the heavy lifting. We don't want them to spend a lot of money.
Still 1.23. It's better than direct mail and everything else. So it's
Yeah.
really good
Yep.
marketing too.
So
I
the
would think
two.
that your click campaign would just pick up some of the perimeters, like on keywords that may not be ranked or something like that.
Yeah, keywords. And then the other thing that really worked out well is we did a lot of, this is something, I don't want to go too far into Google AdWords, but this is something that a lot of people don't either think about or realize or, is display advertising. So display and the Google partner sites, and then YouTube advertising. We do a lot as far as the YouTube advertising, and it costs very, very little
2 cents.
as well.
Is
Yeah,
that for the banner ads on YouTube or pre-rolls?
Video.
Pre-roll.
yeah. So so they're very lovely because they own the AdWords as well. So we connected, whenever you have an AdWords campaign, just really quickly, that's another thing that immediately should be connected to your Google Analytics. And they don't do it automatically for you. You actually have to go through a process of connecting the two. I know. But so here you can see what their spend is.
On the connection to AdWords, Google's connecting to a phone. Do they connect to your mobile phone? I was going through it the other day, and it looked like it connected to my carrier's number set on the phone. I'll ask them.
Oh yeah, I mean, because I think, well, we have the phone on the salon that I do work for, and it actually it goes to their business phone. So that's okay. So here we're doing very specific advertising with search, and this is showing how we are, how it's split up. Each of the campaigns are split up, and it goes through everything. The keywords that we're using, how that's working out, the search queries, how people are actually searching. This really helps too, because this helps us. So a lot of it is, this is actually more to see where the heck we are.
So those are keywords that you are putting in there and tracking, or it's just keywords?
These
that
are
Google
the queries. So these are people. So this was one. This was a very specific one. Connecticut Insurance Podiatrist Foot Specialist. So we have foot specialist in the keywords that matched up with the search query in that way. And the other thing too is that we have to use these keywords because A, it's in the name Connecticut Orthopedic Specialist, but there's the orthopedic group, there's Center for Orthopedics, there's, you know, so there's a combination of words all the time. There's Connecticut, you know, whatever. So all of those words are being used by other organizations as well. Yeah. All of these terms, even, you know, one of them said associates.
So this is what Google's picking up as
Yeah.
queries for that site.
We're not doing video campaigns right now. And they decided not to do display, so this is all search. And then it's also showing information about what pages are actually being visited. So this is one where we're pointing them to specifically to the walk-in clinic. So the walk-in clinic is a whole different being, because oftentimes you're not being referred by a primary care physician. This is like little Johnny's playing football. He twisted his foot, or, you know, did something to his shoulder or whatever. Crap, what's open, and I don't have to wait for 3 or 4 hours. I'm going to go to ortho now. And it's a very specific urgent care center. It's only for orthopedic. Nobody's going to go in there if they're having an asthma attack or, you know, heart palpitations or that sort of thing. So we're really focused on the advertising for this. So this is not even getting into the dashboard. This is all the information that's available. And then they have a whole separate section that is specific to social.
So do you advertise on Facebook to get these numbers, or is this organic?
This is all the organic. So this is Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+. And I'm not really worried about the numbers down here so much, especially Google+, because Google+ is actually, it is carrying its weight as far as phone number, directions, you know, information and that sort of thing, kind of like mapping type of stuff, more location-based information
These are
as opposed to
backlinks.
website.
This is where you're actually monitoring somebody's on Facebook, clicks on a link, goes to the website.
Mm-hmm.
It's not used on Facebook. It's Facebook has its own website.
No, this is actually how people are getting to our site
Back to the site.
from Facebook and what that looks like. And then again, if you can just go in and take a deeper dive when you click onto Facebook. This is what I just did right here. Boom. And it shows all the pages that they visited based on that.
That's a 30-day
So this was a
snapshot.
big one. What's that?
That's a 30-day snapshot.
I think it's 30 days, yeah. Yep, 30 days.
You can expand that.
That's pretty good, 17,000 hits from, say, Facebook.
So this was another one that was like very specific to, we had posted about the docs being in the New Haven Living Best doc. So you can see how this is working. There's advertising working, there's public relations working, there's social posts that are working, and how this all kind of flows through. The other thing that was very interesting to us, I'm trying to use like real life, is geography. So geography is important for a variety of reasons, right? So for Mind Map, we're really only looking at 8 towns. How people are coming through to our site from 8 specific towns, how they're interacting with the website, what kind of decisions they're making, what kind of information they're looking for, and that sort of thing. So we really want to make sure that they hone in on that. Here, because we have, with COS, we have some very specific things that people will travel for, and we want them to travel for. We want to see what people are looking for. So what I would do is I would look for an increase. We already know that people from these towns, New Haven, Hamden, Milford, Branford, Wallingford, right? That's not too far out. Guilford, West Haven, that sort of thing. But these are the numbers that we're really interested in. So when we see an uptick or a downtick, I'm going to compare it to the previous period, to the previous month. We want to know why there's an uptick or a downtick, right? We want there to, so right now we want there to be an uptick because there are several new technology developments. So these numbers are actually a little bit down.
So that would be extremely helpful if you had like a news article that came out, like you said, on WTNH or something.
Right.
And that month, you might take a look at how far.
How far? Yeah.
What technology developments happen?
So, well, the 3D knee replacement or the, and then I can't remember what the other ones
So that's
were.
a new product.
So that's like basically, yeah, an updated product, that sort of thing. So anytime that those type of things hit, we see a big jump in the numbers. And actually, we'll do something a little fun. I'm going to compare it to the previous year. Oh, they are. Oh, they're just a little down. Nope, some are up. So if I want to look at New York is significantly up. Wallingford is up. Boston went down a bit, but New York is definitely up. So I want to know, you know, why people are not as interested in Boston. Well, I pretty much know why, right? Because Boston is like the center of however many hospitals. They're not going to really travel. But New York may, you know, the New York area may, and those a little bit further south in Massachusetts, maybe those in Rhode Island and that sort of thing. So this is a reason why location demographic is really interesting. Now, I just got another new client, and this is going to be really fun for me for Google Analytics because it is a local brick and mortar store. So they get people that are around the New Haven area, Branford, that sort of thing, you know, the concentric circle. And then maybe people who are coming in because they're dropping off their kids at Yale or because they go to Yale or that sort of thing. They're looking to actually go online and sell their, you know, sell online as well as in the brick and mortar store. So what I want to see in Google Analytics, once we get the campaign really going and the website up and everything, is the growth in the locations. More people from more different locations in the United States who are looking at this. So we're going to roll this out kind of region by region. So we're looking at that information.
So you're going to do a national.
Right. The other thing, I said I was going to do this quickly, didn't I? But these are things that I consider, you know, very important. The change in how people are looking at your website through desktop, mobile, and tablet. So at around this time last year, these numbers really jumped up for mobile. We were down around maybe 1,000 or 2,000 the year before, kind of moving up to like around May. And then the numbers were starting to creep up on mobile. And when I looked at the site on the mobile device, I'm like, this is really kind of hard to navigate. I'm not getting a lot of information really easily. We're going to have to figure out a way to get the most important information on the mobile site. They actually developed a mobile site. Instead of it being responsive, they developed it to be very specific. because it's a huge site. To try to take this site and squish it into be something that's just adaptive, So they did a very mobile specific site. But our numbers went totally, up. And this was just a small creep up. But if you look here on the desktop, all these people right in here just dropped into the mobile and into the tablet devices. So you're really, again, if you look at these numbers, and if we had changed things over to mobile and then saw a huge dip, we would have known, okay, whatever we did, that was not helpful. So we're going to have to adjust it to make it so.
That should have on there the time that they're on the site, right?
Yeah. And you can add, different variables as well. So here's time. If we did an hour index, what would that look like?
Because even though the desktop went down, if they're spending more time on the desktop than the mobile, then that would be something we want to know.
Right. So these are all the different combinations that you can think about from real life situations. What am I looking for? What are the different types of things, information that I want to tease out of here?
That's interesting. Can you scroll down from there?
Scroll down more than where?
I was just looking at the bounce rate on the desktop and see what it was on mobile.
In the center?
See it says bounce rate.
Yeah.
So on desktop it was 35%, 36%.
Yeah, actually, let me take the secondary dimension out. Oops. That way you can just do, there we go.
Look at the difference. So the bounce rate on the desktop is 33%, but the bounce rate on mobile is 53%.
Yeah, but you can also see too, the duration's not horrible. And tablet, it's, I don't really, this is not extremely important to me. And the reason why is because I know on the mobile that they're pretty much looking for, when the 5 people were on earlier, right? Who's this doctor? Where am I going? That's what, they get the information that they need to get out. The desktop, they're probably doing a little bit more. They might be looking at, a video. They might be getting more information about whatever condition they have. They might be returning, they came out of surgery or they're going to be going into surgery, and we actually have papers up there, what to do before surgery, what to do after surgery. They'll put exercises on there as videos and that sort of thing. So there might be specific things that they're looking at. So then the bounce rate,
To your point earlier, though,
Yeah.
if you have a mobile developer, maybe knowing your analytics the way they are, they can devise the mobile so when they pull it off, whatever site you're talking about, like if they want to see the doctor, that would be the
Yeah.
first button they would want to see.
Right. No,
So you
absolutely.
can give that to a developer and say, here's our traffic and here's what we want to see first on the page because that's when people go to the mall.
Right.
And then you can make the mobile work.
Yeah, interesting enough, the UI UX success should show a higher bounce rate for the mobile if you do it right, because they should be getting page that month. And that's-
Right. And not just,
click
yeah,
on it.
like tooling. I kind of expect people to tool around a little bit more. Now, if it were retail and they were on a mobile device, I would want the bounce rate to be lower or just about where it is for tablet or desktop, right? Because I want people to shop around, to look at things, to finally find what they're looking for, click it, and go through the process of a purchase.
When you have all that data, which is the value,
Yeah.
because you're monitoring the site with analytics, so you know how to send the mobile site up.
So let let me see.
One thing I notice about mobile sites, it's all about the buttons, pushing the buttons, call now or make an appointment now.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So you wanna make sure that the right buttons are there.
So I wanted to just shoot over here. This was something that I showed Glenn because we were talking about doing landing pages for Mind Map, and we're trying out five landing pages. So we want to see.
Are they separate URLs, Glenn, or are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
URLs, so it's just
They're
one.
separate. Yep.
It's not extensions or something.
Oh, they have to take this off. So this goes directly to your page. In this case, it's the home page. And it shows you, shut that thing off. That's why there's a problem. They didn't take this down yet, but I'm hoping they're going to take it down in the next 10 minutes. But it's showing you how people are clicking through the site. So yeah, in-page analytics is awesome because this was really helpful when we were changing this website and we were changing, the other one was the med spa, plastic surgery and med spa. So there's a lot of menu items, there's a lot of things going on the homepage and that sort of thing. And we're looking at how people are traveling through the site and what they consider to be important pages or maybe helpful. You know, are they not getting to one of our, you know, to a page that we want them to go to because it's difficult for them? That sort of thing. So we actually did this in-page analytics, and because look at, so there's so many. This 28% is that our physicians? I think it's to our physicians. So that makes sense. Having people
Specialty.
curious, and then our specialties is 21%. So these are the two big ones. So we want to make sure that when we get here, and then another one that we want to look at is, so this is very specific.
It's interesting because you could do your link configuration that way. Maybe you don't need all those links today. You can do some drop-down menus, and
Right.
because they're not very high anymore. It's not very significant.
Are you talking about in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of, this actually makes a lot of sense. Even though there's a lot of doctors, they're about the same, probably. You know, they're within a couple of points of each other,
Yeah.
so I'm not really too worried about that. And again, this is a real, you know, this is a pretty low bounce rate as well. So these are all the items that we're kind of, you know, adding up and looking at and figuring out what of these things are really very important. Remembering that we want to put them over on our dashboard.
You go down to site speed. You want
What did you want?
site speed under the same thing you want.
Oh, I have to scroll down, I guess, right?
Behavioral
Site speed.
Interesting they put it in red and green, whether it's optimal.
Yeah,
It's a big ranking factor these days, is site speed.
right. And then by browser as well. Oh, That's interesting. And then this.
What is this one?
This is the goal conversions. So this is how people are getting to very specific pages. So at one point, we were introducing a new location. They have 17 locations. So we were introducing the Shelton location. So I really wanted to see how people were moving through to get to the information for Shelton. So we were doing some advertising. We had a very specific landing page to just Shelton. And that sort of thing. So I made that particular item a goal. And these are other goals that they were doing. I think they took some goals out because I had different goals. But the interesting thing, I wanted to just do this as well because Glenn was talking about the client journey and just how people find things. So these are the top conversion paths.
So you just want conversion and then goals?
So in conversions, then goals, and then there's goal URLs. But what I wanted to show here was it's multi-channel funnels. So this is like one of my favorite things.
You did the whole, you have a goal set up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna actually, let me see if I can show this through another one that has really crazy goal path. Let's take this one. So this one, we have two very specific goals, right? So this is about getting started with a complimentary consultation. So we want people to actually fill out a form. And we want to see two things. Well, we want to see three things. We want to see who's calling. So this is where we have the phone call set up. We want to see how many people are actually going in to start the process of the complimentary consultation, and then get all the way through to the thank you page. And we want to see how many people are actually kind of dropping off as well, right? So they go through, they've thought about it, they start filling out the form, and I've told them this is a very long form. And I think there's always going to be a high drop-off rate because of that. Because as you know, you're doing something like this, and as you're filling out the form, you're like, do I really want to do this? Do I want surgery? Do I want to go through surgery? Do I want to pay this much money? You know, all these different thoughts. Instead of if you're just doing a really quick form, and don't worry, all your questions will be answered when you get to the actual doctor. So that's a good thing to think about is your form fills and what you're, so I'm just going to show you really quickly what this
So
looks
you were
like.
concerned about the length of the form.
I was really concerned about the length of the form.
So they're doing abandoned recoveries, abandoned form recoveries, do they call people that abandon the forms?
I've suggested it. They have not as of yet. So this is what it looks like. They shortened it a bit. Okay, so they did shorten a bit. This was actually much, much longer. But if you're looking at this, like I wouldn't make street address and city and zip code mandatory. It's not necessary to be mandatory.
Love when clients want you to put stars next to all
Everything.
fields. Like,
Yeah, all the fields.
and everything's
We
required, so
really
everything's
need
required.
all of your information. You know, because the thing is, to your point, you know, if we get their email address and maybe their phone number or something like that, we definitely don't need their address. Best days of the week for an appointment, best time of day, best time to reach you by phone. How did you hear about us? A lot of this information, when you're sitting down and talking to the doctor, we just want to get you into the physical location.
The other thing that I've done that works really well, and I think you might want to do that with this particular form, is you get 1 or 2 pieces of information and then have a second page.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like my idea is just, you know, as long as we have your first name, your email address, and your telephone number, as long as we can contact you, and it's much better to have either, you know, a voice or an in-person than have to fill this whole thing out. So I use this information to say, hey, you know what? You just had, you know, 148 people start your form and only 35 completed the form. That's less than 20%.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's not going to help you. So this is, again, this is a way for me to say, okay, you know, if my marketing manager says, well, I didn't really get a lot of, you know, signups, it's like, okay, well, this is why. You had 148 people who got to the point of, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do this. And only 35 stuck with that, I'm going to do this.
When you say they started it, did they actually fill something out, or did they go to the form?
So this is where they went to the form page. Yeah, and they started filling it out, and then they abandoned it. So I can actually add to this goal URL. Can I add a time? Yes. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
The top. Put the day in there.
No, I'm looking for how much time. Is it minute index? I think it's minute index. No, I don't think that's the right one. But nonetheless, that's something that I want to go to. I want to go to this page, and I want to see how long they're spending on the page. Because if they're spending a whole bunch of time kind of hemming and hawing, you know, I don't know, I'm filling this out, but I don't really want to answer this question. Why do I need to give them my address? You know, that sort of thing. Then that's something that's going to help me say, look, you get a lot more people if you did these 3 things. So this is very important information as far as, you know, making marketing decisions, how you're going to
The other thing I've
do
done in that
this.
situation that you have there is if they put a video above the form explaining what they're going to get if they fill out the form, you know, like a 3-minute video of one of the doctors explaining what they do in the consultation.
Yeah.
Or something like that, it will change the conversions.
So this is, I'm going to do it this way, the conversion paths. This really shows you, yeah, this conversion path, the top conversion paths have actually shortened quite a bit. And it may just be because there has been so much marketing that's backed it up. So this one was paid search, and then it went over to direct before they got to a goal conversion. This was paid search, then they went to the site. They probably filled out, you know, something for to get a newsletter. That was very helpful. And then they got an email because they signed up for the newsletter. And then they actually signed up for a consultation and they completed the form.
So direct
So-
is a URL. It's a link.
Direct is they actually put isanamedspa.com. So first they saw, you know, they saw an ad, then they were like, oh, let me bookmark this and, you know, look it over again. So they did that. Let me sign up for more information. You know, I'm still not completely sold. They signed up. We sent out newsletter. We send out a newsletter probably once a month. They got the email, and that was when they made the decision, okay, yeah, I'm ready. But I mean, you know, some people, it takes 5 or 6 hits. This one, we paid for them twice. You know, so all these different, you know, this is really what the online customer journey looks like, and how it's helpful for me is if I have a marketing manager or somebody saying, or a business owner saying, well, you know, why do we keep doing social? Why should we keep doing that? It's like, oh, well, because social is part of the client journey that's bringing these people in, that's getting them to call or fill out the form and get all the way to the thank you page. And now, because of social, we have a couple of people that you wouldn't have had sitting in that chair in front of the doctor. You know, so this is all important pieces of information. So if you're a marketer of any sort, or if you're the one doing it yourself, these are all these questions, or all these scenarios that I talked about. These are all questions, right? Where are these people coming from? What are they doing? How long are they spending on your site? How did they get to your site? Has it been helpful? Has that PR been helpful? Marketing, the whole campaign.
It's also useful to think about your own journey. If you're going to buy a new camera or whatever, where do you go? You know, what do you do? Right? Because
Yeah.
I kind of find that gets back to the slide in the beginning, at least 8 or 9 interactions or sites or validations or conversations.
Right, because this only shows how it happened online.
Yeah.
But you don't know if they saw an ad in the newspaper as well, or if they, you know.
Yeah, this is not conclusive.
This is, yeah, but it's
Visual
helpful.
Yeah.
It's and it does show that it takes all these different, oh, I saw it on a billboard, and then I looked at the website, and then I saw an ad, and that kind of like, that helped keep
Is this
top of
conversion
mind.
path report based on your goal sets? Is this, you know, the path to referral to director, is that based on your goal sets, or?
This particular report is based on the goal set. So this is specific to the goal. So right here, I'm going to answer your question in just 1 second. We'll go down here. So I was in conversions. So this is all under your conversion reporting. Your goals, e-commerce, which I do not have an e-commerce client at the moment. But we're working on that. But that would show you, the e-commerce piece would show you. So if they sold their products online, we would actually take the information from that store, load it in, it would be in Google Analytics, and you would see, and a lot of these, like, I want to say Salesforce, but I might be wrong, but like kind of like a Salesforce or something like that, or Shopify, it will interface with the analytics, and then you can get, or it will interface. Correct. So it'll just interface. You had a question.
Yeah, you keep talking about customer journey and things like that. And how do you learn how other people go through a customer journey? Because usually my customer journey is learning, like IKEA, for example, you brought that up.
Yeah.
My customer journey is knowing what something is, looking at the map, finding the shortest route to get there.
Right. Yeah. No, it's
Going
true.
back, going in and leaving, so I don't have to deal with any of the other stuff.
Right.
So I completely avoid their kind of mapped out customer journey.
Well, that was, and that was retail, and that was like, we want them to, walk through. But a good example would be, yes, we want to make it easy for you. We were just talking about, like, for Isana, the form fill out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That customer journey, I would say, is a little rocky, because it's like, oh, I have to fill out this form. So it's taking me a long time to do this. And you're not really being informed or entertained while that's going on. But you'll see, a lot of times on retail sites, they'll actually have, this is exactly where, like, for example, Wave Gallery, you want to know where the Alex and Ani bracelets are, charm bracelets or whatever, right? So you want to go, okay, it's right here. Look, it's right there in that tab. It's a big old tab. You click on the tab, you get everything that you want, right? But from a retail point of view, you just made their customer journey easier because you just directed them to directly. But over here on the side, what you could do is like, hey, a scarf would look really good here.
And
Or what
Amazon do the best job of that, just
Yeah.
their related products, and their algorithm is clearly successful and market leader in that. But back to the retail environment, we know and joke IKEA about how they forced
Yeah,
the client journey. Well, they're walking away from that now because there's a lot of customers that like you.
right.
And
That's
a lot
just
of,
like,
I'm
I
gonna
just want to
through the
go.
back door because I don't know where it is. I'm going to leave.
Right.
So they're realizing that their sort of idyllic journey is creating a lot of customer pushback.
Yeah.
And so they're removing those
people.
roadblocks. So a lot of people online, it's the same thing. You've got to identify the roadblocks and
remove them. So it's the opposite. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really removing the roadblocks, but at the same time, providing for opportunities
to
to
upsell.
upsell
Yeah.
as well.
And that's
Yeah.
a fine line, and it's everyone's got a different benchmark for that. Everyone's got a different customer who's got a willingness to, click around. And again, Amazon has done a really good job of that. Because at the bottom, they'll say, "Oh, if you like that, consider this."
Yeah.
Or you did this before, consider that.
Consider that. Warby
And
Parker.
they're smart suggestions because it's based on what you've done in the past.
Yeah.
So it's not just a generic one.
Right.
You could do it digitally too if you wanted to like answer your question digitally. You can go to like Moz or Ahrefs, and you could just put any URL in there. Even if it's better if it's the number one organic. It'll show you all their backlinks and all their traffic and where it's coming from, and it's a great way to set up your site or actually set up your analytics because now you know what the habits of where
competitors are
customers
doing.
are coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can actually just find out what are the routines that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Moz is a good tool for that because it answers part of your question. Well, what are the customer journeys? What are the established ones? It will download all of the data from specific URLs, but you don't know what they've done to guide the customer that way. So it's not a full picture, but it is revealing.
It tells you what keywords they're searching,
Yeah.
kind of like it gives you like analytics. It's just it gives you a more overview of what they're looking for.
Do you use it? Moz?
Oh my God, yes. A lot of Moz and Majestic, Ahrefs.
What is it, Moz?
M-O-Z-Z.
And- No, I think it's 1Z, right? Moz, 1Z?
Yeah. Ahrefs, A-H-E-R-F. And Majestic, those are the three I started doing an analysis on. So, but it tells between the three of them, it tells a lot about the customer journey. And then of course, if you have your own analytics, once they get in your site, that tool she just showed you with like the heat map.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That site, you're an SEO guy or a web guy. that is
Yeah.
huge.
That is huge.
That is huge because their services are charged $60 or $100 a month or something like that. And it's right there for free.
Yeah.
Well, all the
Well, that's the
high-end
thing, a lot-
pay-per-play CRM like HubSpot and Marketo and that, they basically suck a lot of this out and format it in a way that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
easy,
they're not
just
cheap.
easy to read.
Their
Yeah.
interface,
Yeah, their interface is a lot easier to read. I've been looking at Google Analytics for like ever. Even when I was working in the agency that I was working in 8 years ago.
So what do you guys think about ways to use it? What are your any insight? John, what do you think?
Well, I can't wait. But I'm, and I haven't got my head around it yet.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the customer journey stuff, and I'm thinking more detail about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The other thing too that I didn't mention that I just remembered was your emails. as well. So this is actually a new email. It's relatively new service. That's like MailChimp or MadMimi or Constant Contact or something like that. It's called Robly.
Really?
Yeah, and it's more. It says that it's specifically for lead generation. So the marketing manager that I'm working with, she signed up for it and she had Constant Contact, and she finds that it's an easier interface to use, which for me, anything is easier than Constant Contact. But it's also very specific to lead generation. So it's constantly conversing with you in terms of, how is this going to get you that customer, that sort of thing. So this was actually the email that we saw, and the assisted conversion report. This is my dashboard. This is my goal completions, the thank you page. 18 organic, 4 from Yahoo. This is just the end, the end results. 3 direct, 3 from the pay-per-click, 1 from Facebook, 1 from Real Self, which is it's specific to health and wellness and plastic surgery and all that kind of stuff. Robly, Yelp, and we don't pay for Yelp. So this is where all of our conversions came from. So I make sure that I have this up, specifically what's coming in from Facebook, as opposed to, and this is a good one too, because Yelp is very forceful as far as selling to you. So
Selling their advertising.
So this is what I'm getting for free.
Yeah.
I don't need them. And this is what I'm getting from Facebook. So I'm not really,
Do you have just one conversion goal set here, just the thank you page that this is measuring, or is this?
So the thing that I'm interested on this particular, dashboard is the thank you page. And then I can go back and say, okay, how did we all get to the thank you page?
Just because you're measuring the call to action for whatever thing you're doing.
Right.
The thank you page comes after the call to action.
And then I can kind of back out of that.
That's the results from the form. Right?
From the form, from the complete. Yeah, the thank you page is after we've completed the form, they get a thank you page. It has a specific, it has its own URL, which means that form was completed. And that's the important number to my marketing manager, that she got 35 completions on the thank you page. What's important to me is when she asks me, why did we only get 35 this month, as opposed to, the 45 or 65 that we got the month before? And then I can go back and I can say, well, here are some things that we might want to increase, decrease. What, this kind of advertising really didn't give us anything. Robly did, a pretty good job, but do we have to put another step into the automation process or take a step out of the automation process?
I think what's really interesting here in the next 12 months is the amount of sites that are going to switch from responsive to mobile. Because even a lot of WordPress sites that are built as desktops that slide to responsive are still very clunky on mobile. And as the numbers of these go over 50,
yeah, I think it
you might want to
depends.
think about doing it the other way, which is why I like your example.
Yeah, it depends on the size and scope of the site. I mean, something like the Connecticut Orthopedic Specialist or Renaissance Med Spa, there's a lot of moving parts and there's a lot of information, and then you kind of basically just have to boil it down. And if, if a responsive site is able to say, okay, here's what you can pick out of what's already in the site, and we just boil it down, or we have to build out a little differently.
So the other thing I've been using is called Quill Engage. It started off as a freemium, and I think now it's a low.
It's like
$20 a month.
Yeah,
So
monthly fee.
but it does take
Database.
all of this, all of your dashboard data and convert it into English, which
Which is,
I like.
For the customer.
Yeah.
yeah,
Because the customer, this is what the customer needs to know. Kind of thing.
yeah,
So I think it's 20 months now, but I still find it useful because it looks at all of your activity and spoils it down to this is what you need to know.
right. Instead of,
3 or 4 page weekly or monthly report.
yeah, instead of us doing that, saying, and then this happened,
Yeah.
you know, Quill's the one that says, okay, here's all your information. And it's based on, and that's the other thing too, is it's based on what you provide in your report. So it grabs what you provided on the dashboard, it takes that information and boils it down into plain English, basically. So it's up to you to decide what information you put on your dashboard in order for Quill to be able to grab it.
Anyone else got any ideas on new tools? and fun stuff? All right, so we'll leave it there, getting on with the day, even though we don't know what day it is.
Because you're on video, could you make sure you tell us what you're going to talk about next week?
How do you do it?
So
Sorry.
I think next week is the third week, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we want to talk about is how to filter and segment. We didn't get a lot into that. So filtering and segment to segment certain information, so you just, you know, you get exactly what you want. And then filtering is really important right now because there is a lot of referral spam that's
So
out
all
there.
the things you can exclude, keep your reports clean.
Yeah. Keep your reports clean.
Yeah.
So we're gonna name. We should just name that. How to keep your reports clean.
How to clean them up.
Can you give us a location and time?
Yeah, it'll be same place, same time, and same hangout for next week. So come join us at the Grove for Digital Media Sync. We're on every Tuesday morning through the month of September and just continuing this saga of Google Analytics.
What's the street address?
Oh,
760
Chapel,
Chapel
Street.
in New Haven on the second floor.
And park on 290 State Street. Get your ticket stamp.